So find yourself in a comfortable position. So you can go ahead and use maybe your pillows or blankets. That's another thing. You will need 2 big pillows and a blanket. So go ahead and find that. And I am going to start on my back. Okay, so that's going to be the comfortable position I'm finding myself in. Use one pillow here. The blanket can go off to the side. All right, and however you can safely lower down, a really good low pain way would be, to come on the side and then come down this way. Also, you can have the hands behind you and engage the core, which is going to be great for preventing more pain later on as well. So let's go ahead and slowly find ourselves on our back. All right, wonderful. And when you're ready, I want you to slowly start to bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat and then let the knees fall in towards the center. So you can either hold this position or feel free to, do another one, maybe the pillows underneath the knees or something like that. But once you're there, I want you to close your eyes and to begin to notice your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And with each breath out, I want you to find yourself melting into this mat. Relaxing from the top of the head all the way down to the toes. Then I want you to slowly go ahead and start to bring some movement to the fingers, wiggling the fingers. And we're going to bring some movement into the wrists. I want you to just start to roll the wrists. Do 2 times in each direction. Good. And let your arms fall back down next to your sides. And we're going to start to bring some movement into the neck. So I want you to slowly, you could keep the eyes closed if it feels okay, but you could slowly look to one side, inhale to center, and slowly look to the other side. So just starting to bring some movement into the body here. Good, and then when you're ready, I want you to bring your knees back in alignment over the ankles. And we're gonna feel the legs here. So I want you to have the bottoms of the feet against the mat. And relaxing your legs. Feeling the feet. Good, and then once you're ready, I want you to bring the knees into the chest now. Now you always have options to put, blanket or pillow underneath the hips. So see what feels right for you. But we're gonna bring those knees in. Give yourself a nice, gentle hug. And then I want you to bring the hands to the top of the knees. So you can inhale as you slowly bring them forward, and then exhale as you slowly bring them in. Only go as far as feels comfortable for your body today. So don't feel like you have to push it further or bring it in further than feels comfortable for you. If you are someone that wants to bring in a little more core strength, you could always keep the shins in alignment with the knees. And you'll feel like, oh wow, I definitely have to engage my core more here. Last breath. Good, then when you're ready, you can bring the soles of the feet down to the ground. Wonderful. And let's go ahead and extend our legs out onto the mat and reach arms overhead. Taking a nice lengthening stretch, pointing the toes. Good, then when you're ready, we're gonna slowly go ahead and bring the soles of the feet back down to the ground. Good. Now you could always leave a blanket, but just we want it to stay pretty low and flat, I should say. Okay, but for right now, we're gonna bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat. We're just gonna bring some side-to-side movement in with the hips. So you can have the arms out to the sides, palms can face up or down depending on how it feels for your shoulder. But just know that it's good to switch it up because it can feel like a stretch. All right, so we're just gonna start kind of rocking side to side. Good, and then maybe you want to go a little bit further to one side. But remember, we only want to go as far as feels comfortable today. You could always use the pillows, but we're just going to do one more breath here. Good. Coming back to center, and just know that when in doubt, breathe. Okay, so always breathing. It's going to help you mentally and physically and reduce those pain signals. So let's go ahead and bring arms down next to our sides again, feet on the mat. Good. And we're going to start to bring some movement into the shoulders. So you know how I was talking about how when you flip the palms, it starts to stretch the shoulders? Well, that's actually like a pose that you could do. So let's say you keep the arms down, that's going to be the least challenging. And then arms out to the side is going to be more challenging. Okay, and you could always go anywhere in between that. But we're going to exhale as we flip the palms down. And I want you to fully flip them and feel that. Relax the shoulders. Inhale as you flip them up. Good, and let's say that this is causing pain, then don't flip all the way. Okay, so just get that little bit of movement in there. If you aren't feeling it enough, you can always overstretch it, but just be careful with that. Because like right there, my shoulder wanted to give out, so I'm going to just go back to doing back of the hand and the palms. Listening to your body. Good, and when you're ready, let's slowly bring arms overhead. Take a nice big lengthening stretch with the arms. And then exhale as we bring them down next to our sides. All right. As you take your next breath in, I want you to extend your right leg up towards the ceiling, maybe flexing the foot, and then exhale, bring it back down. So that's the first option. Inhale, send the leg up. Exhale, foot comes down. Second option would be as you inhale, you could slowly let that leg come back down to the ground straight. That's going to have you engaging the core a little bit more. Maybe you want to add in the arms. So you can inhale up. It's also a brain exercise if you're adding in the arms too. Good, and when you're ready, you could slowly come back down to the ground. Bring both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice, gentle hug. Good. And then I want you to go ahead and grab your 2 pillows. So you could always switch and put your blanket underneath the head. Now that you're nice and a little bit more relaxed in the neck and shoulders, because we're going to place 1 or 2 of our pillows underneath the hips. But before we do that, we need to warm up that motion. It's all about kind of lubricating the body, the joints, and preparing it for these poses. So as you inhale, you're slowly going to lift the hips up, and exhale, slowly they come down. And maybe it's just a tiny little lift. Okay, inhale up, exhale down. Last one. Good, and this next one, you're going to lift up so you can put the pillows underneath. If this isn't feeling right for you, don't push it, don't force it. You don't have to use the pillows or anything. You could always skip this next pose or have your legs and feet up to a wall or a chair. If you have any option like that, your legs can go right on the seat of the chair here. But we're going to inhale and send the legs up, flexing the feet. Good, and then I want you to just move in and out. So you can exhale as you bring the knees in, inhale as you send the legs up. Play around with maybe pointing your toes when you bend the knees and flexing the feet as you straighten the legs. Last one. Good, and then I want you to bring the knees down, and we're going to start to open up the hips. So I want you to inhale, open, exhale, bring them back together. Now, if that's causing pain doing the movement, first thing you might need this to build that strength there. Otherwise, you could always just hold it, right? So let's do that a few more times. Good, and when you're ready, you could slowly bring the knees back together. And let's straighten the legs out onto the mat for just a moment. Straighten out the legs. If that doesn't feel right, bring those feet back down to the ground. Maybe you want to bring the arms overhead in either position. Take a breath here. Slow down. Let yourself melt into the mat, into this position. Slowly bring the feet down to the ground. Bring arms down next to your sides. Good. And as you lift, I want you to slowly bring those hips off of the pillows and place them off to the side as you gently lower down. And we're going to bring the knees in. Give yourself a nice hug and make your way up into a seated position. You could always roll over to one side or rock up to seated. However, you can safely is the key here, rise up. Okay. So I want you to find a comfortable seated position. Feel free to use the pillows, use your blanket, whatever feels right for you in this moment. I am going to use a pillow. It's my choice for right now as I'm listening to my body. Okay. Remember, this is a rush-free practice, so just take it nice and slow. So as you inhale, I want you to elongate the spine. So feel a string pulling out of the top of the head, bringing you up towards the ceiling or sky, whatever's above you. And we're going to start to come into some cat and cow. But before we do that, I should mention, if you've never watched any of these classes before, that I really encourage you to listen to your body. So legs can be like this, legs can be straight out. You can even be in this position and modify in some way, or you can go into a chair. So you got lots of options. As you inhale, we're going to open up the chest. So we're lengthening the front side of the body, not crunching the back. And as you exhale, we're rounding the spine. Chin comes towards the chest. Inhale as we gently open up, lifting the chin. And exhale as we round the spine. Chin comes towards the chest. And let's do a couple more. Only going as far as feels comfortable for you. Good. And as you inhale, you can slowly rise up. Awesome. So, if you are sitting in this easy seated pose, having one leg in front, then I encourage you to switch it out and bring the other foot in front. This is going to help balance out the hips. It's specifically our SI joint, which is in our lower back where our hips meet our lower back. And that causes a lot of pain for people. And with the SI joint, like, what was I saying here? Oh, yes. I just want to give you a little pro tip for daily life. That's why we're not supposed to cross our legs. And I know women do that a lot, so we are not supposed to cross our legs. If you do catch yourself doing that, that's totally fine. Just switch. Make sure you're keeping it balanced, just like we did. Okay? So as you inhale, I want you to elongate the spine, arms rise up, reaching up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring the hands behind you. So as you bring the hands behind you, in whatever position you're in, we're going to start to open. Let's flip the view here so you can see. We're going to inhale and open up. Nice big reach here. Not big, but feeling the front body expanding, opening. And then exhale, soften. Let's do that one more time. Good, and soften. Wonderful. We'll slowly rise up to a seated position. And let's come right into tabletop. So you might just want to keep the knees on the pillow. So you can just leave that pillow there. Find yourself in a tabletop position, but I encourage you, if there is pain, support those knees. Keep them nice and comfy. And we're going to bring the hands down to the ground. So as you exhale, around the spine, chin comes towards the chest. And inhale as you lower the belly and lift the chin. Good. Exhale, rounding the spine, chin comes towards the chest. And inhale as you open, and continue as you connect your movement to your breath. Good, last breath. Good, and find yourself right back at that neutral spine position. Now we're going to come into a combination. So as you inhale, we're going to slightly, if you have wrist pain, you're going to move those wrists forward. If you don't have wrist pain, you're going to keep them right where they were. Inhale, we're going to lean forward for that stretch in the wrist. And exhale, bring the elbows down to feel that stretch down the spine. You can even relax the head, the head and the neck, not really the shoulders. So we inhale up. Exhale, come down. If it does hurt the head, though, don't feel like you have to go all the way down. Good, and then slowly rise up. Now, the position we just did, you can do something like that and hold it with the pillow. You can also keep doing what we were doing. And another option would be to come into that child's pose. So you'd bring the hips open, knees to the outer edges of the mat, toes together, touching in back. And then we'd sit the hips back towards the heels and stretch the arms forward, breathing here. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly rising up back into our tabletop position, bringing the knees back together, and then we'll go ahead and come into a standing position. There's a couple different ways to get up there. Okay, so you can either come through a downward facing dog. This would be a modification for that if you wanted to do a couple of these first to stretch into the back of that leg. But you can press up into a downward facing dog and then make your way up to standing, or just come up however feels comfortable for you. So find your way up. Once you're up at that standing position, we'll go ahead and take a big breath in. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, arms come down. And you can open up the hips to come into a little squat. So we're going to inhale up, exhale down. Last breath. Good. And I want you to bring the feet together, reach both hands up, but we're going to interlace the fingers and press the palms up. You could always keep a bend in the elbows. You'll feel that stretch still. Good. And then exhale, slowly bringing arms down next to your sides. Good. Let's give it all a shake. Good for a lot of things. Lymphatic drainage. We're going to give it a shake. Good. Get the blood flowing. So I want you to come up to top of your mat or whatever space that you're on. And we're going to meet with hands at heart center. So bringing the hands together, you can come into this position or even having the hands over the heart like this. And as you're standing here, I want you to breathe in and out. In and out. And with each breath out, I want you to notice the heartbeat beneath the thumb. See if you can imagine it. Tune into it. As you take your next breath in, we're going to send arms up overhead. Get a nice reach. Good. And then we're going to forward fold. So there's a couple different ways to do this. You can bend the knees, let the arms hang heavy, relax your head, neck and shoulders. If you have a countertop, you can also come into this kind of position or keep the elbows bent. But this is another one that's a little bit more supportive for a forward fold. So once you hang down here, you can bring maybe the elbow, grab onto the elbows with your hands, or rock side to side. Just kind of letting everything hang heavy. Last breath. Good. And then when you're ready, you could slowly rise back up. But remember, engage the core, flatten the back, and then rise. Good. It's going to be a lot safer for your back. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. Even if you're at the counter or a chair, we're going to inhale up and exhale, fold. Maybe you want to straighten the legs out a little bit more now. Good, and I want you to slowly make your way back down to the ground in a tabletop position. So you can come through a downward facing dog. However, you can make your way back down to the ground and we'll meet there. We're going to come through some cat and cow. You can exhale as you round the spine, chin comes toward the chest, and inhale as you gently lower the belly and lift the chin. Let's do a couple more just like that. Last breath. Good, and then you could slowly bring yourself back to center, back to a neutral spine. And we're going to find ourselves back in a seated position, and we're going to lay down. So set yourself up for success. I want you to have one pillow on one side, your blanket underneath your head, or at least like rolled underneath the neck. That's what I like to do, so it's a good neck support. And we're going to lay down on the ground, okay? Go ahead and find yourself on your back. And once you're there, we're going to bring the soles of the feet down to the ground. Good, and we're going to fold up, depending on what kind of pillow you have, we're just going to make it nice and comfy. So I'm going to fold it up, press the soles of the feet together, and then open up the hips. Knees resting on the pillows. And I want you to close your eyes. Breathe in and breathe out. With each breath out, find yourself melting into this mat. If the legs are starting to hurt, adjust. You could straighten them out, see what feels right. But I just want you to come back to that breath. See if you could shift into the present moment. Unclenching the eyebrows as you relax your forehead. Relaxing your cheeks and your jaw, your neck and your shoulders. Relaxing your arms and your hands. Your chest and your belly, the muscles along the spine. And as we start to relax into the hips, I want you to maybe straighten them out or bring the feet down with the knees in again. Or you can even just press those pillows right underneath the knees and find a comfortable position. And once you're there, we're going to drop back in. The eyes are soft and closed. The shoulders are soft and relaxed. The arms almost feel heavy. And we relax down the back into the hips, relaxing the top of the legs, the back of the legs, both feet, relaxing all 10 toes. And find yourself melting into this mat. Notice how the mind is calm because we detached from the stress, the tension, and we're just focused on the breath, the being. And I want you to slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, maybe rocking the head side to side. And we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest and give yourself a nice gentle hug. And we're going to connect the movement to the breath. So as you inhale, I want you to gently move the knees forward, just like we did at the beginning of the practice. And then exhale as we bring the knees in. But this time we're going to add a pause in between each inhale and exhale. So you inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Good. As you inhale, you'll slowly extend the legs out onto the mat, reach arms overhead. Nice lengthening stretch here. And then we'll bring our knees back into the chest so that we can roll over to one side. As we are ready, we could slowly press ourselves up into a seated position. And once you're there, any seated position will do, whatever one's comfortable for you. You can have legs straight out like this, but I want you to bring your hand, one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. As you inhale, I want you to feel the breath go into the belly. And then feel the hand release and go down into the belly as you exhale. Let's do a couple more just like that. Inhale, expanding that belly hand. Exhale, bring it back one more time. This last breath, I want you to exhale with a sigh. I want you to bring both hands to heart center, one hand on top of the other, and show yourself gratitude. Show yourself just how grateful you are for you. And then I want you to share that with anyone or anything else that you would like in this moment. Bringing hands to heart center, palms together. I want you to then bring the thumbs to the space between your eyebrows. Because this is that connection of our heart, our love, and our mind and our thoughts, which we need to have those connected. So as you notice, I want to say the meaning of Namaste, which is the light and love within me honors, respects, and cherishes the light and love within each of you. The Namaste.